I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business trainer, author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner, and Food Truck 201, Get Off the Truck. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. Today we're going to talk about you being a resource for your team. If I took 5 minutes to talk to your staff about their thoughts on you as a leader, what do you think they would say? How do you think they perceive you? For as long as I can remember, I've always been compelled to help people. It's just something I have to do. My grandmother used to refer to me as her best helper out of all of the cousins we had, and we had dozens of cousins. One quality that helped my success in restaurants and food trucks was I had that desire to help people. I mean, obviously I want to say, can I take your order, please? And then deliver delicious food and do that as quickly as I possibly can. That, however, is the reasonable expectation that every guest would have when they come to the food truck. Getting waited on, getting good food. So helping people in our business starts not really with the guests, but actually with our staff. The goal is to teach and to coach them to achieve the same level of service that we want our guests to experience and then what our guests expect out of a food truck. Oftentimes, new owners confuse leadership with dictatorship, and we've all had that boss that just barks out orders and does not take into account the wants, the needs, the skills of the folks that are left to execute those very rudely stated orders. A true leader is the complete opposite. You will want to work tirelessly to develop your team, not only in how you expect the business to be operated, but also, and here is the key difference, you need to be focused on what you can do for your staff, both as a group and individually. So here's some tips on how you can become the resource or the leader that your staff deserves. So for example, if a team member is talking to you, give them your full attention, your full focus, no interruptions. And then, just like Stephen Covey says, repeat back what they stated to show you understand what was said to you in the first place. You need to figure out what makes each person tick on your team. Learn what their strengths are. Learn what their weaknesses are. And that way you can let your team members shine through when they're in the right position that matches up with their abilities. And then you can also train them and work with them to improve their weaknesses so that they can be an all-around good fit for your food truck. You want to create a work environment that has what's called work-life balance. And you want that built into the work environment you create. And you want to create that not only for your team, but for yourself as well. You can't work 16 hours a day because that's not a balanced work-life experience. You can't expect your team to work 12 or 14 hours a day because, again, it's not a work-life balance. So don't put yourself through that, and certainly don't expect people that you hire to work with you to do that as well. Take inventory of your own strengths. Figure out how to fit those into your overall team, and then use yourself in ways that benefit the team and your food truck company. Recognizing your own limitations helps you see the opportunities to leverage your team's strengths more clearly. For example, I am not an overly friendly person, and I recognize that and work really hard when I'm out in the public to overcome that. But there was a time that I would automatically put the friendly people at the window to make up for my weakness. So you've got to understand where your strengths and where your weaknesses lie. Another key characteristic of leadership is taking the knowledge you've learned in the past and applying it to the future so you and your team can continue to grow. Think about it like this. You want to, every time you have a service or an event or a catering, you want to do a little post-mortem, if you will. Figure out what worked, figure out what didn't work, and then fine-tune the processes with each new event that you have, with each new catering that you have, with each new daily setup that you have. Pinpoint the opportunities you need to improve. I can promise you, you're not perfect. I can promise you, if you have 1 million 5-star reviews, you've got enough other people that didn't care enough about your business to leave any review at all. There's opportunities to get better. Great leaders know there's always room for improvement. How can I get one more dollar in the till today? How can I get one more guest through the line per hour today? How can I do something better? How can I lower food costs? How can I improve my P&L statement? There's always room for improvement. You also want to lead by example. It's your job to set the tone for the team. And I talked a little bit about this last week. Don't ask people to do things you wouldn't do yourself. Don't set rules that you have no intention of following yourself. The fastest way to destroy a team is to have rules that you as the owner refuse to follow. And it could be as easy common rule, like no eating on the clock. But how many owners will graze everything they possibly can? Grab that slice of cheese, shove it in their mouth because they're hungry. I gotta eat. But the employee's looking at that going, well, you won't let me eat. If you break your own rules, you're destroying your own team. They have no respect for you, and they'll have no respect for your other rules. So lead by example. Commit to the growth of your people. If you want your team to grow, you've got to invest in your people. On a food truck, everyone should know how to do everything. Take the time to teach your fantastic cook how to ring up orders and how to be friendly while doing it. If some of your team cannot perform all the positions on your food truck, then your team is out of balance. That lack of balance will show itself at the absolute worst time. Take that 100,000 person event that you're going to go to, and you're going to find that your orders will go from being minutes when you're out on the street to being hours when you're in that kind of pressure. And that's just from a breakdown in your team, because not everybody knows how to do everything. Or you could just say it's a lack of vision on your part as an owner. Teams who trust each other work better together. They get more stuff done. That's why it's so important to cultivate relationships among your team. Every person on your truck should have one goal in mind, setting each other up for success. If one person misses that mark, everyone misses the mark. Your job is to be the one to be the resource. Answer the questions, tell them what they need to do, talk them through the position, get them focused on taking care of your guests and making the speed of service goals that you have and the sales goals that you have. If one person falls down, I promise you the whole team falls down. But whose fault is that? It's still your fault. Thank you so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding all the information helpful to your food truck business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because you know I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.